You'll be alright.
Good morning, everyone. Great Monday morning. Okay, so 49 days before Christmas and papansin po ninyo, no? Wala po yung mga kapitid natin ngayon, si Coach RD, DJ, King, and Direct Eco. Though Direct Eco is helping out sa background. Yan. So good morning, everyone. Yan. So would like to know where you're watching from today. Yan, and thank you for joining us also. Yan. At this time, we now have 5 million viewers. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Then, good morning din. Sorry, I won't be able to, hindi ko mabasa yung name mo. Yan. So, thank you for joining me today, this morning. Okay, so, all right. So, kumusta naman? Isang maulang Lunes para sa ating lahat. Okay, so itong araw na magandang gawin para magkape. Okay, let's have coffee. Turn on your favorite book. Okay, I say turn on kasi most of us have tablets or phones where we actually read our book. Some of us still prefer to read in a physical book. Yan. So there's a good time to read something, before working. Yan. So, good morning din, Sharon. Okay. Good morning sa'yo. And then yan, Coach RD. Sabi ni Coach RD, good morning po sa ating lahat. Kape tayo. Thank you for viewing, Coach RD. Yan. So, do join me in having coffee today. So, tulad na nasabi ko, no, kanina, some of us prefers reading. Okay, sa newspapers, physical book, kaya sa physical na papel. Some of us prefers reading it in a tablet or in a phone. Yan. Siguro, kayo sa umaga, saan kayo prefer? Saan you prefer magbasa? Yan, sa tablet ba? O sa physical book? Yan. I remember, siguro mga 7 years ago, no, I would normally go to this bookstore and aabangan ko lagi yung sale kasi naghahanda ako ng budget for it. So pagpasok ko doon, siguradong bibili na ako ng mga books. Yan. Ay, magandang umaga din, Sir Lex. Okay? Magandang bagong linggo sa ating lahat. Nag-iisa ako dahil lahat po ng mga kapitid natin ngayon ay may mga prior commitments, and they are, of course, we want them to honor their commitments also. So, ayan. Pero hindi naman ako nag-iisa kasi, Sir Lex, andito ka. Dito si Abby, good morning. Sharon, she's here also. Yan. Si Coach RD, dapat meron siyang coaching couple of weeks back. Kaso nung dumating yung bagyo, na-postpone yung talk niya. At na-move, alam ko ngayong araw na to, na-move yung talk niya. Kaya uh, we're speaking blessing to Coach RD even as he's doing his talk this time. And so, thank you for keeping me in company today. So, yeah. So, um, how do you prefer reading your material? Is it using a tablet? Okay? Is it using a tablet or using a physical book? Okay? Yeah. So, kung ano yung prefer nyo, please type it down, comment below, and why? Why do you prefer using a tablet or using a physical book? Yan, 10 years ago or mga 6 years ago, I would prefer a physical book. Maganda yung amoy ng papel. Yan, nagusto ko yan. Pero kaya ako nag-shift from physical book to a tablet or soft copy. Yan. Kasi dahil nung time na yon naglipat ako ng bahay. Yan, naglipat ako ng bahay. Na-realize ko ang dami-dami ko palang boxes. At yung boxes, hindi siya appliance, no? Napansin ko, puro books yung mga dala ko. So nag-isip ako na kung magme-missions kaya ako somewhere, I won't be able to bring all my books with me. Yan. Ako yung tipo ng tao na gusto ko may dala akong book kapag sasakay ng jeep, maghihintay sa pila, dapat laging may binabasa. So, feeling ko parang kung lilipat ako somewhere, yan, ano kaya yung mas efficient na pwede kong dalhin, okay? Mas magaan. So little by little, nag-start na akong mag-migrate from a physical book to a tablet, yan, to a phone. So doon na ako babasa. Yan, okay. May sagot na tayo. Abby, thank you so much for this answer, for joining. Sabi ni Abby, yan, physical book. May satisfaction kapag gumagamit ng highlighter sa mga notes na gusto ko maalala. Yan. Maganda nga yan, ano? Tulad ng nabanggit natin last Friday, pinag-usapan natin nila Coach RD. Karamihan sa atin visuals eh. So naalala natin kung saan natin hinighlight, kung saan tayo nagsulat. So sa physical book, may ganong klase ng output para sa ating lahat. So tama, tama. I agree with you, Abby. I still remember that time. Yan. So si Rosh, sabi naman niya, tablet po dahil nalalakihan ko yung font. Agree, agree. Dati ako, I would prefer na talagang malaki yung font kasi parang mas mabilis siyang maintindihan. Okay? Pero yung mga books, kapag maganda yung book, kumakapal yung book. At kapag kumakapal yung book, na mas nahihirapan ako personally dalhin. So I agree with with Rosh. Yan. Si Angel naman, okay, tablet. Kasi pwede mag-zoom in. Agree also with that. Pwede kang mag-zoom in, pwede mong lakihan. Okay, isa pa sa mga gusto ko sa tablet kapag tablet naman yung prefer ko, pwede kong i-copy paste, okay? Kung PDF, pwede kong dalhin doon sa note app na gamit ko. Pagkatapos pwede akong mag-doodle. So yun yung gusto ko kasi sa physical books, I get to write beside the whatever I highlight. So sinusulatan ko, I write some questions. So actually madumi talaga yung physical book ko, pero with the tablet, pwede kong palit-palitan yung kulay ng highlighter, kulay ng pen. So pwede kong baguhin uh, at my preference, no? Kung yung sa preference ko. Yan. So si Abby, okay. Abby, thank you pala sa mga pamana mong books, Pastor Tristan, nabasa ko habang naka-quarantine. Ayan. So, kaya yun, start na ako magpamigay ng mga books kasi nga nag-shift na ako into tablet. So kayo, ano yung mga favorite books na nabasa nyo so far? Yan. Ano yung mga favorite books na nabasa nyo so far? Or maybe this pandemic, let us know. Ano yung mga books na binabasa nyo during this pandemic? I'm sure before pandemic, we all have this kind of wish na sana Christmas break na so I can go back to my book and finish it and read it. Or sana long weekend na. May mga ganun tayong wish. Now, there's pandemic, nabawasan yung siguro dahil may work, kahit na may work from home tayo, nabawasan yung travel time natin. Diba? Before, we used to spend about 2 hours in traffic. Now we can use that 2 hours, sitting, meditating, reading something, and now we can actually finish a book. Yan. Sabi ni Sharon, I can do both depending on the situation. Convenient ang tablet while traveling. Physical book, you can highlight and use a marker. Yan. Si Miss Evangeline, sabi naman niya, physical book. If tablet kasi, if no connection or mahina, ang signal cannot access. So that's also possible. Kapag walang internet, and then mahirap ang connection, mahirap din yung magbasa online. Okay? Mahirap magbasa sa tablet. And then, so, pag nagsusulat kayo, ano yung mga things na tinitingnan nyo dun sa mga book? So let us know about your tips, okay? Your tricks on whenever you read something. Yan, sa mga books na binabasa ninyo. Yan. Okay, so ako, one of the books that I am reading this time, ako ang goal ko sana sa isang buwan na ginagawa, I started last October. Okay, na nag-isip ako na pwede na siguro ako makatapos ng book na yon. So I had to uh, reorient my schedule so I can finish a book. So ang goal ko sana is to finish at least 2 books in a month. So far, yung October ko, konti na lang. Okay? November na nga ngayon eh. So I'm still adjusting. So hopefully this month I'll be able to finish 2 books na. Yan, 2 books na. So books that I'm reading Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. So that's what I'm reading. And You Are What You Worship. So by James K.A. Smith. Yan, recommended by Pastor Steve. So yun yung mga binabasa ko this time. Yung idea nung kay John Mark Comer na book, yung Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, uh, basically it's reorienting your life to a uh, deep spiritual formation. How to slow down, how to take a Sabbath, how to take a rest, things like that. Kasi during this pandemic, if we're not careful, yung mga ginagawa lang natin before pre-pandemic, na busy tayo sa office, marami tayong ginagawa. Actually, nagpalit lang tayo ng environment and we brought it at home. So like me, no, what I do, kapag sa office sobrang busy, madaming ginagawa. So sa bahay, ganun din. Naglilinis ng bahay, naglilinis ng kusina, kung ano na lang pwedeng malinis. Yan. Sa inyo, anong ginagawa nyo na napansin nyo parang pinalitan nyo yung schedule nyo sa office pero dinala nyo sa bahay? Yan. Ano yung mga yun para sa inyo? Diba? So, yun, ginagawa. So, yun yung parang feeling ko, parang kailangan ko yatang magbawas ng mga ginagawa. So, that's why nung nakita ko yung book na yun, parang, okay, this is a good book. I need to study, or I need to uh, get to know some practical wisdom that I can apply so I can actually slow down and really uh, dive into things that are important to me, especially during this time. Yan. Oh, thank you, Miss Boots, for keeping me in company. So sabi niya, good morning. I will keep you in company. I am from old school, so I prefer a physical book. Yan. Last week, I was telling my webinar participants that one habit of good leaders is that they read every day. Yeah, that they read every day. I agree. I agree. Making us read books, make us relevant. Okay? Yung patuloy ka pa rin nag-grow. Parang I agree with our mga kapatid, sila Direk Iko, sila Coach RD, Lee J, and King. what they would always say and harp on every time we meet is that leaders are lifelong learners. And a part of learning is actually reading, okay? Learning from the thoughts of other leaders, learning from the thoughts of other people through books. Ayan. Avi said three books, yeah, the multiplication challenge, which I like too. Revolution in World Missions. Wow, hindi ko pa nababasa yon. Mukhang exciting. And The Beautiful Wife. Ay, by the way, Avi and Aaron, congratulations on your engagement last November 2, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm so happy for both of you. Yan. So nakaka-excite naman yung mga books na binabasa ni Avi. Mas may bias ako no, sa Revolution in World Mission. So that's exciting. I hope you could share some of your thoughts. Okay? At kapag, maybe kung nabasa mo na ngayon, maybe in this comment below kung ano yung mga thoughts and highlights mo dun sa Revolution in World Missions. And maybe dun na rin sa Beautiful Wife, okay? Para dun sa mga tulad mo na kahit pandemic, nagkaka-love life. So, I'm so happy for you and I'm so happy for some of my friends who just have, you know, just get into a relationship this year. So, may mga boyfriend na sila, girlfriend sila. So, again, congratulations. Ate Ched, okay? I usually read 2 to 3 books at the same time. One of them is an easy read para may break for the mind. Oh, tama yon. Okay, yung pwedeng fiction, pwedeng poetry, pwedeng self-help, or pwedeng isa spiritual. Thank you for that, Ate Ched. Sa akin, ang combination ko is a business book and a spiritual book. Yan. Kung wala akong mababasa tungkol sa religion, spiritual stuff, I look for another leadership book. So, nandun ako sa category na yon. And sometimes a fictional book on family relationships. Yan yung mga binabasa ko naman. Yan. So, that's the book I'm reading. Uh, yung Ruthless Elimination of Hurry and You Are What You Love. Yung You Are What You Love naman, it's a reorientation of your heart's desire. So sinasabi ng book, the book is kind of disputing the thought that you are what you think. Okay, you are what you think. I think that's an 18th century quote by a philosophist or psychologist na sinabi niya na you are what you think. But this author now is saying that we're most likely we're not we are what we think, but it's really who we love, okay, or what we love that makes us what we are or who we are or what we do. So I'm just starting the book and hopefully I'll get to share some of my highlights for you during this time. So reading books is very essential. You know, reading books is very essential. It keeps us grow. It makes us um, it gives us an avenue to influence other people too. Yung pag may nagtanong sa'yo kung anong gagawin mo in this particular time, meron kang reservoir, okay, of practical wisdom, you have a reservoir of learning that you can actually share with the people. Yan. Yan. So, when you read books, okay, when you read books, ano sabi ni Nico, do you also sometimes read aloud? Kapag nagbabasa ba kayo, binabasa nyo ba o sinasabi nyo ba yung nakasulat sa books? Yan, let us know. Comment below kung ano yung best practices ninyo kapag nagbabasa kayo ng books. Okay? Yan, si Miss Boots. I just started reading The Art of Gathering, How We Meet and Why It Matters by Priya Parker. It is about why people gather and how we could make each encounter meaningful. Wow, that's an interesting book, Miss Boots. Sana um, you could also tell us okay, kung ano pa yung ibang mga highlights ng book na yan. Alam nyo, during this pandemic, aside from reading books, naisip ko, in light of in light of what Miss Boots shared to us, parang ano nga ba talaga yung importante during this time? Ay, ano nga ba talaga yung importante during this time? Uh, while reading, while reading a relationship books. I think I read last month yung book ni um, sino nga to? I forgot the title, ano. But it's about topic on marriage. It talks about relationships, and it talks about how relationship is very important in times of celebration, in times of failures, in times of crisis, in times of uncertainty. And it makes me realize that relationship is very important, especially during this pandemic. Especially during this pandemic. I think isa sa mga bagay na na-miss ko, no? Kagabi nanonood kami ni Marge ng wife ko ng isang K-drama. And while we are watching, they were inside a video okay, KTV studio. So they were singing. Sabi ko sa wife ko, parang namiss mo ng kumanta ng ano, may kasamang mga ibang tao, may mga barkada, friends. And it made me realize that, you know, these are some of the things I miss doing with other people. Watching movie, going to KTV, with them, or hanging out in coffee shops talking about books, or sometimes talking about life in general. Ay, kumusta yung ganito? And maganda yung binabasang book ni Miss Boots. How we meet and why it matters. It's I think pandemic has brought us into a realization na every moment we have with people is important. Diba? We can have as many as 3,000 friends in Facebook, but it all boils down to the people you connect to the most. So it's your wife, it's your husband, it's your siblings, it's your parents, it's your closest friend, your best friend, your besties, your BFF, and that's important. Sa inyo, during this pandemic, no, we're now shifting our conversation from reading books into what's really important to you. Ano mga na-realize mo na important during this pandemic at bakit? Okay, so I just mentioned, tulad ng sinabi ni Miss Boots, is really having an encounter with people, yan, building relationship with people. So ano yung mga relationship na ano yung mga nagba-matter sa during this pandemic? Yan, during this pandemic. Okay, so I just type in your answers, and we'll read them through. Sa akin, while watching that and just remembering what I read last month about relationships, naalala ko lang na it's not just relationships that really is important for all of us, especially during these uncertain times. Meron din tayong mga ibang bagay na importante sa atin. I also realized na humor is important, making fun is important, cracking jokes is important, or laughing at jokes that you actually don't like sometimes is also important because it makes life easy. Yan. So, ngayon, definitely walang option yung mga kasama mo sa bahay kung hindi tumawa. Sa akin si March ngayon. She doesn't have a choice but just to laugh anyway to my corny joke. So she has to bear with that every single day. Abby, yan, one of the highlights in the revolution in world missions is preaching the gospel to the lost is more important than attending to their physical needs. Now, we can give answers to their needs, but if the gospel is not preached to them, our mission will fail. Yan, our mission will fail. Ang ganda nung thoughts na yon, Abby. It's not just meeting physical needs. Physical needs are like sending them food, though it's important. Giving them advice, counseling, that's important. Okay. Befriending people, that's important. Hearing them out, that's important. Meeting physical needs, like giving them clothes, giving them shelter to live on to. giving them opportunities for growth. That's really important. All of that are important. But I also agree with what you highlighted that the gospel is very important. I think the difference between now and the future is that for now, we live in a temporal environment. So parang syempre, lahat yan importante for the now. And it's important for us to meet that now. And the importance of the gospel actually supersedes what's important in the now, and it goes to eternity. Imagine mo yon, when you share the gospel to someone and that person changed, that person encountered Jesus, you not only change how they live their lives in the present, you change the trajectory of how they will enjoy their life for eternity. So, galing, galing. Thank you so much for that thought, Avi. I appreciate that. For Tichen, no? Sabi niya, the importance of finding joy in serving my family. That's the what's important during this time. The importance of finding joy in serving, especially family. I don't know about you, no? There have been times that it's just easy to serve other people around, lalo na kapag sanay kang nasa labas. Diba? You serve people, pero kapag nasa bahay ka, I don't know about you, but this happened to me. Pag nasa bahay ka, parang you start counting, parang ako, ginawa ko na to. Ginawa ko na yan. Naglinis na akong bahay, nagugas na ako ng pinggan and something. And finding joy in serving the family is a different skill and habit. So that's an important thing, especially this pandemic, no? Pag ikaw palagi yung taya sa paglilinis, ikaw yung taya lagi sa paghuhugas ng pinggan, or minsan siguro paglalaba, iisipin mo, how would I find joy in doing this? Definitely, there is a joy in doing that. It's not just washing the dishes, it's not just serving people. I guess for me, it's just delighting in the people I'm with, that sila, they get to enjoy the service that you actually do. So thank you for that thought, Ate Ched. So kayo, what do you find that is important to you during this pandemic? So relationship, finding joy in serving, or laughing. Yan. Sa akin, there are two more that I find important during this pandemic, other than a relationship, is that faith. The faith matters during this pandemic. Um, during this time, I feel like um, more than just a mental or an emotional crisis that we had or that we're having during this pandemic. Nagkaroon din feeling ko ng spiritual crisis ang karamihan sa ating mga Pilipino. Meaning, where do we anchor our faith into? Where do we anchor our faith into? Or do we know the person or the God who we actually worship to? You know, faith matters. Well, why? Because without faith, it is impossible to please God. Because without faith, we cannot move on and proceed this life with uh, with hope in the future. Sabi ni Miss Boots, this pandemic, I realized that any small gift you have may mean so much to others, especially to those who may be struggling or suffering. Even the simple gift of listening or a bag of bread could spell a difference to people I have encountered. Agree. Thank you for that, Miss Boots, for sharing that. Yung naka-receive ka lang ng small token from someone, from a loved one, from a close friend, yung effort lang na magpadala sila at kunin yung address, di ba? At mag-book ng delivery at maghintay ng 30 minutes kung na-deliver na ba yung item para maihatid sa kanila. Minsan nga mas mahal pa yung Grab eh. Ay, nabanggit ko yung ano. Minsan mas mahal pa yung delivery kumpara doon sa item. But it really, the gesture, it speaks a lot of the difference. So, ang galing nun. Thank you for sharing that, Miss Wu. So, I encourage you, if you know someone, okay, or maybe in your prayer time, ask God, Lord, who do you want me to bless today? Or sino yung friend ko, kamag-anak ko, na gusto mong iparamdam yung compassion mo para sa kanya. So do that and encourage someone today. I'd like that realization, Miss Woods. And that also resonates to me, no, na parang kapag nakaka-receive ka ng ayuda, parang surprise, parang, ay grabe, nakakataba ng puso. Yan. So sobrang it uplifts you. It makes the connection um, deeper, and it feels like parang you're close to the people who sends you stuff just to comfort you kung ano man yung pinagdadaanan mo. This pandemic, I've received so much also from various friends. So thank you for that. Yeah. So si Abby naman, sabi niya, answer ng mama ko, what's important for her are positive realizations during this time of pandemic. That she is stronger and happier with God despite the pandemic. Wow. Galing nun. Thank you for sharing that thought, Abby. Importante nga na may ganung realization, no, during this pandemic. Um, we can be there are two kinds of people who can focus on the negatives and people who can focus on the positive. But I think also it's a grace. It's a grace from God for us to shift our perspective. Um, I hope that you're sa mami ni Abby, uh, maganda yung mga realizations nyo po, tita. And kung nag-journal nyo man yung mga thoughts nyo, realizations nyo in this 8 months of pandemic, who knows? It can be a parang devotion for next year, no? During times of uncertainty. Yan si Direk Iko, faith, family, friends. So, 3F. Lahat ng ingredients na yan nasa bahay, nasa trabaho, nasa araw-araw ng buhay. Tama ka doon. Yan yung mga nagmamatter sa atin. Yung faith natin, family, the relationship you have with your mom, with your dad, with your siblings, that matters. Parang ang realization ko nga ngayon, parang pwede mo nang i-let go yung mga small things, yung mga pet peeves mo in light of what's actually happening during this time. And friends, thank you for sharing that, Direk Kiko. Yan. Sabi ulit ni Miss Boots, and the giving of ayuda seems to feel more meaningful when you give it to someone you don't know. And so I feel that I am also being blessed by the act. Galing, ano? So, parang galing lang that you get to express your empathy. Okay? You get to express your empathy to people. Um, During this pandemic, for some reason, I have some friends na meron silang mga kamag-anak na nawalan ng mahal sa buhay, hindi lang, not just because of COVID, but because of many other factors. And sila, they would always post it on their social media that they appreciate people who send them messages, who send them gifts to their houses, and it made them feel na very it made the empathy tangible for most of them. And naalala ko to dahil sa sinabi ni Miss Boots, ano, when you give it to someone you don't know, okay, it makes it feel good na you get to share that to other people. So I encourage you, if you're, I mean, since most of us are into social media, look for those people who are in need, who are suffering, who needs prayers. Send them a message, encourage them, or if there's a way that you can send them, or if there's a way that you can ask their addresses. Okay, send them something to encourage them. Okay, to brighten up their day and give them direction. Yeah, so we mentioned it's what's important during this time. It's relationships. It's faith. Faith is important because it's an anchor to your soul. It's an anchor to your relationship with God. It gives you that hope for the future. It gives you an emotional or awareness that you are not just passing by. Okay, that there is a purpose why uh, God allowed all of us, okay, 7 billion in all the world experience pandemic, and it caused us to rethink our purpose, find our purpose, discover our purpose, or maybe live into our purpose. Third thing that I find that's very important for all of us is direction, no, leadership. Leadership, okay? Leadership matters because leadership provides direction. It's not just to you, okay? Not just for yourself, but for your family, for your loved ones, okay, for your friends. Okay, I believe this pandemic also brought about some leadership crisis for all of us. All of a sudden, we see people who have really a gift, a calling to lead, to serve. And on the downside, we also see people who are in a position of leadership and not acting in position of leadership. And that can be true for many of us, for all of us. Sometimes we want to be passive, parang pwede bang wag muna akong mag-lead? Or there are times naman that we actually want to lead. This pandemic caused us to realize that leadership matters in a daily basis. Because without leadership, we won't be able to provide direction to people that is with us. Without leadership, we won't be able to cast vision. Without leadership, we won't be able to serve people. We cannot influence people. There's just so many things that is anchored on leadership. So we cannot, we cannot afford not to step up into possession of leadership whenever God calls us whenever God calls us to lead. So leadership matters this season, this pandemic. Okay, sa akin ang naalala ko, um, before I tell my story, let's read the comment ni Boots. Ang sabi niya, um, yan, for 2021, I found a devotional book on 365 days to do acts of kindness. I decided to buy it so I will be reminded each day and why and how I could do an act of kindness. I can't wait to start using it this January. Wow. The 365 days. What's the title of the book, Miss Boots? Para pwede rin naming mabili yung book or mahanap sa online or sa favorite bookstore namin. Yan. Ano yung book na yan, Miss Boots? Ganda niya na, kindness. I would uh, I would remember King for saying that. You know, King would always say, always respond in kindness. And always respond in kindness. Yung gusto ko sa sinasabi ni King. So, that's a good book. I hope you could share that too, Miss Boots. And sa akin, I actually, Miss Boots, in light of that, ano, I actually received a gift. Okay, someone gave me a 1 year journal. Okay, 1 year journal. Hindi ko na inantay yung January para simulan yung daily journal. Ang title ng book is Live in Grace, Walk in Love. Yan, Live in Grace, Walk in Love ni Bob Goff. Yan, that's the devotional book I am reading. So, I started yesterday. Yesterday he talked about rejoicing, and today he shared about being grateful and being grateful. So, and it's also a good book. So if you can find it in your bookstore or in Amazon, in Lazada, and you're looking for a quick read, devotional, feel good, spiritual book. Okay, that's Live in Grace, Walk in Love by Bob Goff. Yan. So, sana po yung mga nagjo-journal dyan every day, like me, hope you can compile something, make it, turn it into a devotion and share it to your closest friends. Either you sell it or you share it. So that's something. That's something I'm trying to do also. I hope you could do that. So Miss Boots, I hope you could also write your personal take on your devotion, write a devotion, and I'm sure for many of us will benefit for it. Ayan. So, things that matters to us this during this pandemic, relationship matters, faith matters, and leadership matters to us. So, all of these three, it's very important that we get to examine if where we are in the status of our relationship with our loved ones, with your spouse, with your children, with your best friends, with the people you are in community with. How's your relationship with them? There's a good time to diagnose, and there's a good time to pray for them and to reconnect. Maybe by sending ayuda, sending something. Thank you, Direk. So that's the book I'm actually reading, Live in Grace, Walk in Love. Yan, a 365-day journey by Bob Go. Yan yung binabasa ko. So thank you for sharing that. Second is what's important for us during this time is faith. Faith matters. Since this is important to us, I do encourage you to if you're a Christian, you're a believer, don't forget to read your Bible every day. Okay, or go to our online worship service. Now that our online worship service is starting to get into a physical live service, I hope we all get to attend to a live physical worship service someday. Um, Faith matters, and then fellowship with other believers online via Zoom. Don't just scroll in your social media. Message them, encourage them, look for someone to encourage. Okay, and third is leadership matters. Grow your leadership. Grow your leadership skills. Grow your communication. Ako po, may ulterior motive ako. I'd like to confess, I have an ulterior motive why I am joining our online coaching and pumayag ako na mag-live. It's really to grow in communication, grow in doing ministry, grow in uh, grow in connecting with the online audience. So I hope I'm doing a justice to what Coach RD has been pouring into our lives ever since I started joining the coaching group. So I honor our Coach RD, and the people I'm with, and si Iko, si Lijay, and si King. So leadership matters, and it is expressed in many ways. So I hope this time we will not abdicate leadership, but we will lead people. We will follow what God is calling us and practice leadership. Okay, so that's for all of us today. Again, also kay Ate Ched, thank you also. Yeah, sabi niya, thank you PT for your suggestions on Goodreads. Well, actually, I have many. I can recommend maybe in the future episodes, especially kapag siguro ako lang mag-isa, I can share more of the books that I am reading. And thank you again for joining me today, or joining us today for Kape tayo this Monday morning. Uh, let's always uh, let's always find way on encouraging people, um, blessing people. I think if there's anything I'd like to live for all of us today is to make your empathy tangible for people around us. Make your faith, make your relationships, make your leadership tangible, uh, felt with the people around you by encouraging them, or maybe sending them something that will encourage them. Okay? So, and again, a reminder, let's always be grateful. We'll see you this Wednesday. Thank you so much for the 10 million, kanina, 15 million people who joined me this morning. I hope this added value for you today. Find something to really be grateful for. God bless you all, and see you this Wednesday. Thank you, Direct Iko, for doing the tech. Yeah, God bless you too. Yeah. Bye-bye. Have a great week. See you this Wednesday. Direk Iko, thank you, bro.